All right, we're on our way to Manchester and then over to Hooksett to check out a couple jobs, one fire and one damaged by wind. Hi, I'm Rick Bagley with Rick Bagley Contracting. I am in Manchester, New Hampshire, and we are doing a fire restoration for a client who had electrical fire on his property. This is a three-story, three-family. We have gutted the house entirely, done some structural changes, some new petitions. The electricians have done their rough. The sprinkler systems are being installed. The rough plumbing is already in place. We're pretty close to being ready for installation and drywall. Come on inside, we'll take a look. What we're looking at in the building is we had, as I said, we had an electrical fire, and there was a lot more smoke damage and water damage than actual structural damage from the fire itself. But once the building was completely demoed, we found that a lot of the interior petitions were just old, and the house had been worked on a number of times. It was just time to completely gut it and completely just straighten it out, change some petitions around, give it more of a 21st century feel. We've got a washer-dryer combination in the kitchen, pantry, closets, recessed refrigerator, a galley kitchen and full bath. We've done this on the first and second floor. The owners are on the third floor, and their layout's a little bit different, but you can clearly see the electrical and the plumbing are all in place and ongoing. The city of Manchester has required that we do a sprinkler system throughout the building, so we have a lot going on here in the way of mechanicals. The layout here is the same. We're going to put down new subflooring and take the curse out of the floors and do some shimming and some new decking, and then new vinyl flooring and some laminate flooring in the other rooms to give it a hardwood feel with the 21st century materials, because the building is old and it has some waves, and in order for us to really make it work, we have to be a little creative, but that's part of what we do. So all the plumbing is all PEX. The heating system for the first and second floor is going to be Renai's. The monitor heaters are propane fired. Third floor, the owner's elected to go with forced hot air because he wants to have central AC. So the third floor will be different than the first two. But this gives you a basic idea of what we're doing here and what's gone on. New structural petitions, all new plumbing and electric. And it has been treated for the fire, so there is no odor. And that basically gives us an idea of what we're doing. All the windows are slated to be replaced. About 80% of them have been done. The rest of the windows that you see that are pre-existing windows that weren't damaged by the fire, the owner has elected to just pay out of pocket to have them changed. So when it's done, it'll have all new windows, all new doors. The siding that's banged up is going to get tuned up. So it really will be a nice rental space. Decent property.
What's this, Rick?
What you're looking at here on the third floor, when we opened this ceiling up, we realized that basically the roof system was kind of sitting on nothing and all kind of resting together on its own. It was all scissored together. We had to get an engineer in here, and we had to do a set of drawings with an engineer and have them approved by the city. What we ended up doing is going with LVLs, creating some structural pockets, and everything's been hung. So now what we have is a roof system that's structural, can handle the load, has been approved by the city and has been designed by an engineer. So we elected to do a little vaulting in the ceiling here to give the man some sort of a little dramatic space. Got to do a ceiling fan here. Then the petitions that one time were bearing to help bear the load have been eliminated. So he has more of an open concept feel for his living space. And it's hot here in New Hampshire today, and the air up here is really stale, so I can see why the forced hot air and AC is really important for this building, especially on the third deck. Very, very important. It's huge. Done. Okay, so I'm Rick Bagley here in Hooksett, New Hampshire, and this house was hit by a huge pine tree. A big windstorm. The weather around here in the past year or so, 2 years maybe, we've had a real significant change in our weather patterns. A lot more wind, a lot more what the weathermen are calling microbursts, glorified tornadoes, I guess. This house is, I would say, between 100 and 120 years old. It's a traditional raftered and board roof. We're going to have to open up the roof system, replace all the damaged boarding, rebuild all the exterior trim lines, and then re-roof this section. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go inside and we're going to peel the plaster off of the lath and then resurface all the lath with 3/8 drywall, new tapes, primer, and paint. They have a shed on the back of the building that has nothing to do with the damage, but it really needs to come down. So we're going to swap a little wallpaper and paint out for some exterior trades to get the house cleaned up and get it ready for the winter for them. Big shout out to Utica, New York. Go Pioneers!